2026. That's where we are. So we're going to look back at 2025 and my top 5 books of the year. I read 129 books, so I have a lot to choose from. But shockingly, other than one book, this was not very hard to pick out my top 5 because I only gave 4 5 stars last year, and then the fifth book is something that I liked a lot more once I sat and thought about it. So this isn't in any particular order. We're kind of just going off the cuff. So we're going to start with Decapitation Kubikiri Cycle by Nisioi-san. Now, as you may or may not know, I love Nisioi-san. He's great. The way he writes is so weird and unique, and I love it. And this was a locked room mystery detective novel. I love a locked room. I love a detective novel, so this hit like all my check boxes, and I just really liked all the characters, from the weird genius girl to the painter to the painter's helper. Just everybody on this island of freaks and like the best of the best, but they're still freaks, were interesting characters. And honestly, personally, I feel like that's what makes a mystery, is your interesting characters. Because if you have a bunch of boring characters, I don't care. I don't care when somebody dies. I don't care when somebody gets caught because I have no stakes in those characters. But as always, Nisioi-san's character work shines through in a great way. There's 2 others in this franchise, series, whatever you want to call it. I think they are much weaker than this one, but this one is very good and also really self-contained. You really don't need to read the other 2 to get anything out of this. So, yeah. And then we will talk about, why not, my favorite, my love, Margot's Got Money Troubles by Rufy Thorpe. I loved this book. Again, great characters. I think we're going to learn as we go through this that characters are what draw me most. A good character means I will like your book a lot more. And that one had a lot of great characters, from Margot herself, who is just very strong despite all the horrible, stupid garbage that's going on around her. And her one cosplay roommate is super cool. Her dad is the best character in the book. I don't care what anybody says. A former pro wrestler who's trying to reconnect with what is his mistress's daughter. It's good. It's heartfelt. I loved every page of it, and I could not recommend it enough. I'm excited to read more Rufy Thorpe this year and see if it all holds up to the standard that Margot's Got Money Trouble has given us. Next, we will talk about True Grit by Charles Portis. I wasn't really a big Western fan before I read this book. I kind of wanted to try to read more Westerns this year, which is why I read this book in the first place, and I think this was probably the best Western I could have started with. This was great. I loved the girl whose name I can't remember. Maddie, thank you, back of the book. I loved Maddie. I loved Rooster. I just loved all 3 of them. Again, great characters. It was super fun. I chewed through this whole thing in like a day. It's just a blast. Great character work. It's one of those like grumpy man accidentally adopts a child sort of books, and it does it really, really well. And just like Rufy Thorpe, I bought more Charles Portis to read this year because I'm curious to see, is True Grit just one in a million, or is Charles Portis actually goated with the sauce? We will find out. Then the last 5-star of the year was Long Live Evil by Sarah Reese Brennan. Here's the thing. Going back and thinking about the book now, after I finished it, I probably would not rate it 5 stars now. But in the moment, at the end of that book, it was chef's kiss. So good. I loved it. It was super, I hate to use the word again, but this one really was just fun. I would not say this was a artfully written book or a particularly challenging book in terms of both how it was written and the themes it was trying to tell us, but I had a blast. The world, the the main character, all the side characters, just it was so entertaining. It was like playing D&D, it was like watching an anime, it was a little bit of everything, and it did everything that it tried to do so well. Then the last book we're going to talk about, this is the one book that I didn't rate a 5 star at the time when I finished it, but now the more I thought about it and the more I kind of dwelled on it, the more I realized like this was really good and I loved this so much. And that was The Three Musketeers by Alexander Dumas. Again, it goes back to the characters. It's always the characters. I loved D'Artagnan. I loved Athos. I loved Porthos. I loved Aramis. I even loved the bishop and the king, who was kind of a laughingstock most of the time. But D'Artagnan, especially, is such a fun main character. He's such a cool main character to spend time with. And Athos, I think, is the one that has the like extra cool backstory stuff that ties into the end. But even Aramis and Porthos are very fun characters. The four of them, like, it's crazy to think that this book came out in, like, what? Yeah, 1844? Because this feels very modern in a super good way. The character dynamics are great. And just, it's so good. If you read any classic this year, I could not recommend enough The Three Musketeers by Alexander Dumas. It's long, like 700-ish pages, at least this copy was, but it doesn't feel like it's 700 pages. It goes so quick. But yeah, there we go. My top 5 of 2025. I've already read 2 books this year, so looking forward to that. I know I said I was going to slow down, but I am a filthy liar. I hope you enjoy your 2026 reading. And what about you? Do you have any reading goals? What was your favorite book you read last year? Please tell me about it. I want to know. I have a horrible book buying problem.